Okay, you guys look like you're not emotionally there, but we're going to go anyway. We'll wake up somewhere for them. Maybe we should do some laps or something just to wake up. Did you roll one already? Backwards. Oh, you've got sitting backwards.
Today is teacher retake day, and that will be in the wrestling room downstairs by the athletic locker rooms. We will begin with the students with the last name A through BH. Again, that's students with the last name A through BH. Please go to the wrestling room if you will have teacher retake.
Are they going to do an announcement for every 2 letters? It's going to be a lot of announcements today. All right, who do we have? 30. Monica's gone. That's true. Today we might have a lot of... 19. Cadence. Do you remember yesterday what all of them were equal to for us to be able to do these problems? 0. Perfect. This one's not. Do you want to answer the next question? No? All right, let's see who's going to answer the next question. 26? 23. Zena's gone. You might do a lot of rolling today.
35.
Yeah, that's not us, yeah.
20.
Jaden, how would I make it equal to 0? Because right now it says equals 40x.
Yeah.
How would I get rid of that to make it 0? Because that's kind of what we're trying to do. If we don't want that 40x there, how do we cancel it out?
You gotta multiply it by.
Technically, that is true. Unfortunately, what would happen is if we did that, it'd be 0 equals 0. Yeah. I mean, like, what you're saying is absolutely correct. That just would really not help us.
I don't really remember.
Yeah, you're actually thinking a little too difficult, to be honest. If the 40x is there and we want it gone, we can subtract it from both sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, saying times by 0 is actually pretty good logic. It ends up not helping. Because it doesn't directly show that it's like positive or added. So, and then when I subtract 40x from the right-hand side, there's no regular x's on the right-hand side. So then all that happens is we just write it separately. It's like the 50 and the 8x squared can't be added together, so you write them separate. So I'm just going to write ax squared minus 40x plus 50. They're all separate. If they can't go together, you just write them next to each other. Okay, good. Rather than roll the next person, does anybody remember how to factor these? Just curious. When there's a number in the front? I mean, I guess they do have a greatest common factor.
You divide by the common factor.
Oh, actually, we could. I'm not going to show that method just because I feel like it might screw us up when we get to a different topic, like the next section. But you absolutely could do that. So let me, okay, my watch got stuck. Let me move this over here so we have more room. So I'm going to factor out, what do we have, 4? No, just 2? Oh, that's kind of garbage. All right, so at least if I can factor out a 2, it's going to make the number smaller. So I'll start with that. So I've got 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 that I'm trying to factor.
Where'd you get the 2?
I saw that 2 went into all of these terms, so I factored it out by dividing it. That's what we did a lot yesterday. I should have just put that up there. So I need to factor 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. The way we do this, there's actually a couple different ways. And I don't know which way your teacher showed you. Some teachers like to use like a little diamond that they draw to have you factor that way. To me, that's always been kind of confusing. So what I traditionally show is you multiply the outer 2 numbers. So you get 100. Oh God, this is going to take forever. And theoretically, you get 100x squared, but I'm not going to be that detailed on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the factors of positive 100 that add up to negative 20. This is going to be a lot.
How about 10 and 10? Or negative 10 and negative
You're absolutely correct. So, like, if you can figure them out in your head, you're totally allowed to. I wanted to write it down because I know a lot of people can't. But those will be the correct numbers. The first thing I'm going to start with is because they have to add up to a negative number, I know that both numbers are going to be negative because it's positive 100. So I'm just only going to write the negative ones. So negative 1, negative 100. Then I go to negative 2, negative 50. 3 doesn't go into 100. 4 does 25 times. 5 does. And if you don't know the other number, you just do 100 divided by that number to figure out the second one. So 100 divided by 5 would be 20. So negative 5 times negative 20. 6 doesn't go into 100 evenly. 7 doesn't go in evenly. 8 doesn't go in evenly. 9 definitely doesn't. And then you get to 10, and it's also by 10. And then we're actually done because I wouldn't try 11 because I've already made it to the next column. So I can stop right there. So these are the only possible combinations for 100. And Aaron kind of already figured it out in his head. Negative 10 and negative 10 add up to negative 20. So these are going to be the pair we use. Now, the reason that most people dislike this method is because it's quite a bit longer. I can't just write the 10 and the 10 in parentheses. This is why I wanted to have this example up for you guys. What I'm going to have to do, that.
Did they say each for the last name? Because I had like no picture paper. Was it each?
No, they're only on A and B, beginning of B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're apparently doing it every couple letters. But it sounds like they'll probably announce all of them as they go.
Okay.
My guess is yours is in an hour and a half or so. Instead of writing them in parentheses, what I'm going to do is instead of writing negative 20, I'm going to write negative 10x, negative 10x. And then there's 4 terms. This is called factor by grouping. You mentally split it in half. And you look at the first half and factor out what they have in common. The first half each has a 2 going into them, and they each have an x. I'm going to factor out 2x from both. I have no idea what's going on over there. I will shut the door. World language is getting exciting. They woke up. You guys got to wake up like that. I realize this probably isn't like helping you. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, so we factored out 2x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. X squared divided by x is x. Minus 10 divided by 2 is 5. X divided by x is 1. Now, am I doing that part too fast for you? Okay. Then I go to the second half and I do the same thing. Now, I can tell that they each have a 5 going into them. And then to make it easier for me, when the first one's negative, factor out a negative. So I'm actually factoring out negative 5. I'll be left with 2x and then negative 5. Now, if I did this correctly, these 2 parentheses will be the same. That parentheses is considered a greatest common factor. So I'm going to factor out the common parentheses. And then in the other parentheses, I write whatever is left over, which would be 2x minus 5. Do you guys know, does this look familiar? Is this how you did it previously?
Yeah.
So, some Algebra 1 teachers show this factoring differently, so if this is new to you, this might look strange. And this one's probably going to take practice, and that's all right. Okay, so all that work was just to factor 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. That's why most people don't like this method.
Could you do it the other method that you taught us yesterday?
Nope.
Oh.
That's otherwise I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely pick the fastest method you can. And for most people, this is the only way that they know will be able to do it. You theoretically, you can do guess and check. It's not really a method to teach, but you can just basically try numbers till it works. And some people like that. So I'm going to rewrite that 2 that was there from the beginning. And then I was able to factor 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 into 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5. If you want to write a squared, that's fine, but it actually will make it feel harder for you to solve. Okay, we're finally at the point where we can roll somebody. Yeah, no. We only got up 31. 3. Jake's gone.
13.
Kelsey. You look pleased. You look pleased at that decision. Do you remember what to do at this stage when we have it factored equal to 0?
You have to make the two,
Take all the factors and make them
equal to 0.
perfect. So I'm going to write 2 equal to 0 because that's a factor, even though it's not going to find an answer. Just to get in the habit of doing it. Now, these factors are going to get you fraction answers, which isn't like it's horrible, but most people don't like that. So 2 equals 0 that's nothing. That's not true. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Divide by 2. I don't have much space. And the second one is exactly the same. Like both parentheses were the same, so you get the exact same answer. How did that go?
Good.
Okay, good. Yep. You don't know you passed, you said?
No.
Okay. All right, this one probably felt a lot more difficult than what we did yesterday. Definitely not what I wanted to start the hour with, but we kind of had to. Are we feeling okay about this possibly?
Sort of.
Okay. Well, you're probably going to get some to practice tomorrow anyway. Do the best you can. If you get stuck on them, absolutely, I plan on taking time to go over the homework on Monday. Fair enough? I mean, like, I know, not the best situation, but we definitely have a lot more to go over because there's the third part of this section. This section is huge. Like, I don't know why it was one section. You don't have to be angry about it. You guys look upset.
Because we are.
Wait, when's the test? After me?
Yeah, it's possibly the Tuesday after MEA. It might be a little bit later. So we're just going to try to figure it out.
And MEA is this next week, right?
MEA is next Thursday, Friday. And we also don't have a normal school day next Wednesday. So next week is just Monday and Tuesday in terms of regular school days.
On Wednesday, do we just come here first?
Is that what you asked for?
On Wednesdays, do we come to this class first?
No.
Is it like normal time, you know?
Yes. So they definitely have to do a normal time because for students who have to take the bus. So the buses will stay at normal times where it'll drop you off for 8:30 and then it'll pick you up at 3:06.
Wait, do you have to stay?
So if you don't have a ride, you have to stay till 3:06. So they usually just let you sit in the cafeteria for a couple hours. Otherwise, if you can find a ride, you're able to leave once you're done. That's what they've done in the past, and I'm assuming it's the same thing.
Is it like 3 hours long or like?
I would count on it going till lunchtime. Now, it's possible there might be something to do after lunch. I haven't done the training yet, like they haven't told us what the details are. But that's, in the past, that's what it's been. Okay, now, today's portion isn't necessarily harder. It's just different things on the same topics. Yesterday's was going to be the most difficult part of the section. Grant, let's roll somebody. Sure. We'll pretend somebody knows how to do this already. 25. Kylie. Is today not a day? Do you want me to go to somebody else? Okay. 18. Liam. I haven't asked a question yet. You ready? Okay. So the zeros were numbers that you put into an equation to make the answer 0. Now this one's a backwards one where it says write the equation that has the 0 answers of 4 and -3. Now I can go to yesterday's notes if you want me to kind of guide you a little bit. Do you remember how the answers were compared to the factors? Like if we have a factor of x minus 5, what would the answer be? Positive 5. So what's going to happen okay, let's call a 0 a number. Should we just call it C or K?
Z.
All right, that's fair enough. A 0 of Z will have a factor of x minus Z. So whatever number they tell you as a 0, you just write x minus that number. And 100% it works out every time. And so it's not difficult. The most difficult part is just translating what the question is asking. The work itself won't be difficult. So I'm going to write, I could write 0 equals, but I'm not actually solving anything because I already know the answers. So I'm just going to write f of x. Okay, Liam, do you think you can help me now? I'm going to write x minus because that's the first answer. The first 0 is 4, so x minus 4. My second answer, x minus, close. Yes. So instead of x minus -3, I'll write x plus 3. Good. Now these are the factors that get us the answer. At this point, you just multiply them out. We'll go to somebody else. You did an excellent job. $21. She's gone. Lily. Do you remember how to FOIL out? I realize I just said it by the word.
Excuse the interruption. Photo retake is now ready for the students with the last name that begins with B-I through C. Again, that's students with the last name B-I through C. The photo retakes are in the wrestling room in the lower level.
It's going to be a lot of announcements today. Oh, yeah, Lily. That's right. You got called. Do you remember how to FOIL out?
Yeah, so you're gonna do 0 equals
F of x, but yep.
f of x equals x minus 4, right? I thought you had to put it in for 0, right?
So we've already got the answers. So usually when you write an equation equal to 0, that's you trying to find the answers. This one we have the answers already. So instead of saying equals 0, I'll just say equals the function.
Okay. So then would it be x?
So take the first, the FOIL would be to take the first times the first.
Oh, yeah, so it'd be x, so x squared?
Yep, x times x is x squared.
Inside, so negative,
Oh, well, that'd be,
oh, of course, outside, inside, left.
yeah, otherwise that'd be fuel.
So then, x plus 3, so plus x plus 3. Inside, so minus 4x,
Yep,
and then negative 4 times 3, yeah, minus 12, yeah.
perfect. I mean, you said it correct. It's been quite a while since you guys actually did it, so that's why I figured I'd walk you through it. Good. And then we just put together the two middle terms. So plus 3 minus 4 is minus 1. And that's done. And I realize some of you might be able to do that in your head. That's all right.
That's it? That's it?
Yeah. Did something happen yesterday? Everybody's like so down today. Zero enjoyment.
Would you rather have a screaming like the class next door?
What?
Would you rather have a screaming like the class next door?
Sometimes, yeah.
All right, everyone on 3. 1. Okay.
2.
I say sometimes, yeah, because that'll at least wake you up. Maybe that's why they did it. Do you think you can try this one on your own? Was that a bad laugh or a good laugh? Not sure yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it just the fraction made you
Yeah.
like, okay. I don't want to call it cackle because that's more like a. Today's normal day, 28, okay.
Sorry, is it x minus because of the x minus z?
Yeah. Yep, that's why I write that before I even like actually figured out. I'm guessing I'm hearing all the calculators because of the 2/3.
Yeah.
Okay? Sort of fair enough. Still makes me a little sad inside. Okay, Grant. Munir. There you are. What did you put inside the parentheses?
X minus 2/3 and x minus 5.
Excellent. Okay, to save a little bit of time, I'll just kind of multiply this out. Hopefully you did it. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Wait, wouldn't it be plus 2/3 and plus 5 because those are both positive numbers?
No, it's actually backwards from what it seems. So, like if our 0 was z, like, a random number, the factor is going to be x minus whatever the number is. So when you have a negative number, like on our last example, we had a -3, then that actually turns into a +3. It does seem weird to have it be the opposite like that, but it is. Okay, so x times x is x squared. X times -5 is -5x minus 2/3 x. And then Negative 2/3 times negative 5 would be positive. This is like 5 over 1, so 10 thirds. Now adding minus 5, say it again?
3 and 1/3, that's what.
Yeah, you can write 3 and 1/3. I'm not going to because of the next step that you guys probably didn't do. So the minus 5 minus 2/3 is minus 5 and 2/3, but I actually need it as a single fraction, improper. So what would that be? 15, 17 thirds. Or if you common denominator and added them together, same thing. Now, I guess here's what I'll say about this. I would accept this answer. So if you wrote this on a test, I would accept it. I guarantee if you check a textbook or if it's a multiple choice question, this answer wouldn't be there. And so traditionally what they do for whatever reason is they just don't usually like fractions in the answer if they can help it. So they would multiply everything by 3. And that's generally accepted. So if I multiply everything, oh, do you know why I'm picking 3?
Because the denominator's 3.
Because it's everything's thirds. So I multiply by the denominator. So I'd have 3x squared minus 17x plus 10. And this would be the answer like in a textbook. And I'm telling you, if you're doing it on our tests, you don't have to. Test/answer book, answer key, answer.
Answer key answer.
If this felt difficult to you, one thing you could have done is you actually could have multiplied this parentheses by 3 beforehand so that you wouldn't have fractions to multiply out either. So you could do that if you wanted, if that felt easier. We could have written this as 3x minus 2. You don't need to, but just showing you options. Okay, and I believe this is the last problem. Okay, that didn't show me anything. Okay. Not the last problem, but we'll make it the last problem. I think you guys have hit your max. I can see your brain is hurting at the moment. Let's roll to start this one. Why not? $15 is JP. So it says find the dimensions, and then obviously when you look at the picture, the dimensions are letters. This is a 2, by the way. I have no idea what happened to that. It looks like a Z. Oh, okay. Can't erase it. All right. Let's just go with it. That's a 2. If it was a Z, this would be real hard. Any thoughts on how we should go about doing this? How do we... It says area equals 50 units squared on the inside. So that kind of gives us a clue that we're going to do this with area. How do you find the area of a box? Length and height, length and width, whatever you want to call them. You multiply the two sides to find area. Okay, let's write that out. So we've got x minus 3. Yep. Times x plus 2.
X plus Z.
Yeah, x plus z. I know. My handwriting is great. I understand. Equals 50. Because I know when I multiply those two, I get the area, and the area is 50. All right. We're going through almost everybody today. I like it. Onyx. Thoughts as to where we should go from here? Okay, good. I can FOIL them out. So I would get x squared minus 3 plus 2 would be minus 1 minus 6 equals 50. I just didn't want to show the work. If you need me to show the work, I can. All right, who's going to help us next?
16.
Hadley.
What to do next?
Sure.
You add 6 to 50?
You sounded like you were asking me a question.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay, how come? Just it seemed like something to try.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a bad thought. Honestly, that's good to just try things. Now that
Is that not what you
it wouldn't actually help us.
Okay.
Only because, do you remember all the problems we did like yesterday and start of today? What did they have to be equal to for us to be able to work it?
0.
0. So how would we make this equal to 0 instead of 50? So it's kind of the opposite of what you said just a second ago. You got rid of the 6.
I'll get rid of the 50s.
Yeah.
To get equal to 0.
Yep. So how do we do that?
Um,
How do we get rid of the 50?
well, I'm not sure.
Okay, you told me to add the 6 because the 6 was negative. So adding 6 would cancel it.
So, subtract 50?
Perfect. Yeah, no, I mean, like you kind of sound like you're doubting yourself there, but that's generally what we do on all these problems: add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So it's now going to be equal to 0, and we have x squared minus x minus 56, which is a large number, but there is no number in front of the x squared, so then that tells us we can factor it the easier, quicker way. The downside is that 56 is a large number. So whether you're doing it off on the side or whether you're doing it in your head, because I guarantee you, some people know the answer already. Negative 56. So to get negative as an answer, one of the two of them has to be negative. So 1 in 56, so I guess it would be 1 in negative 56, negative 1 in 56, which is kind of annoying. Then I move to 2. Half of 56 is 28. Is that right? Sounds right. Okay, then 3. Does 3 go into that? No, 3 does not. Or it doesn't go in evenly, I should say. Then I try 4. Thank you. 4 should go into that. 14? So negative 14, so then I've got negative 4 and 14. Thanks. You didn't bring us any drinks. Look at it. You went and got a nice drink, but didn't bring any for us. 5 does not go into 56. 6, I don't believe does. No, 6 does not go in evenly. 7, yes. 7 and 8.
Will we be able to use our calculators on this test?
No, probably not. But we also would probably try to pick numbers that wouldn't be like difficult to do in your head.
Okay.
Will we get like big numbers like the 100 or fractions?
Well, see, 100 was easy just because most people can do that one in their head. Probably would be fractions of some sort, but I mean, you're expected to know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. And what we try to do is we make sure that you wouldn't have to take too much time on a question. So if there's something there, it should be something that should be straightforward. Okay, so I need the one that adds up to negative 1, which looks like 7 and negative 8. Okay, so plus 7 minus 8. And I get 2 answers from this. I get Grant, last person of the day. Nope, yep.
11.
Ava, are you ready to finish us off here? No? Oh. Can you anyway? Okay. I've got 2 answers here, but obviously one of them doesn't make sense. I definitely didn't hear any of that.
Plug them both in and see if them work.
They're both going to technically work. What you're saying is correct. So if I plug in -7, I would get -5 and -10. Nothing?
Can't have a negative dimension.
There we go. Negative number doesn't make sense in this situation because it stands for length. So there are two solutions, but one of them just doesn't make sense for this situation. So then we just cross it off, and 8 is our only solution. But this one does say find the dimensions rather than just find x or something like that. So our dimensions would be 8 plus 2 and 8 minus 3. It'd be 10 by 5. So sometimes it depends on how you answer it. I do have another word problem. I'm going to guess it looks like you guys might have topped out.
Yep.
Okay, I'm all right with that. You guys actually got quite a bit farther than the other classes yesterday even. So I'm okay with that because those classes will probably take an hour to get to this point. So nice job.